All right, everybody. The Texas Longhorns have defeated the Alabama Crimson Tide, and I know the first thought out of your mind is probably going, Nash, have you changed shirts at all? Yes, I have. I promise you, I've changed shirts. I just threw this one back on just for this video, but today we're going to be going over the Alabama game and going over some statistics as well as how close was I on the prediction for the Alabama game. I'm going to go ahead and spoil a little bit. I was a little close. I'm going to take my laps here because I was one of the only people saying this. So, if you like the video, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then comment down below. Hey, Alabama fans, there was an Alabama fan of y'all's that showed up in the comments saying when on my Texas beats Bama video, y'all aren't going to beat Bama. I'm going to show up in the comments when y'all... Well, you know what? Credit to him. He showed up after they'd lost. Outstanding guy. Now, that out of the way. Get the one props for Alabama out of the way. What was my score prediction for the game? I told y'all we were going to win 38-21, a 17-point lead. We were going to, and I quote, beat the dog out of him. I'm not, you know what? Forget it. Beat the dog shit out of him. That's what I said we are going to do. And really, we did. We should have had a lot bigger score margin than we did. A Jaylan Ford touchdown would have held them at that 21-point mark that I think that they should have been at. Really, could have been even less. I mean, there were a couple, I don't want to call them freak plays, but they're just plays that normally you are not going to score on. The Texas defense kind of had some momentary lapses, but at the end of the day, it didn't matter. Not even close. It was mattering for a moment, but Quinn Ewers, woo! Let me talk about that. The ability to respond from Quinn Ewers. That's something that's nice, and we're going to need later on in the season. Sorry about that little jangling noise. My dog is sitting there scratching herself. Hey, Missy. Yep, there we go. Okay. Now she's just walking all over the place. So, my predictions. Well, if you were on the Get Your Horns Up, tune into Obi Live every Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. We do predictions there. We did some predictions there. I said Quinn Ewers is going to have 375 passing yards. He had 349. I said 4 touchdowns. He had 3. Two drop touchdowns actually, from Jordan Whittington and Xavier Worthy on separate drives. 1 interception. He had no INTs. So, I was pretty close. I had 375, 4, and then 1. He was 349, 3, and 0. Really close. Jalen Milroe, I had him 225 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. I did clarify on a live stream, my prediction live stream, I thought he was going to throw 1 or 2 picks. He threw 2 picks. 60 rushing yards. He did have some sacks take away from his rushing yards, so I was probably close on that one too. But he threw for, I think it was, let me just go ahead and check this out. I know I probably should, I should have this off the top of my head. Yeah, he threw for 255 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 44 rushing yards. So, your boy Nash is pretty close. He was pretty good. I'm sitting here. I'm doing my dance. I'm taking my laps. Taking my laps for a second. Just hang on. We're gonna get to the statistics. I'm just taking my laps. I did say Ewers to Whittington was gonna be the first touchdown, the first score. That didn't happen, but it should have happened. Jordan Whittington had a ball go off the 2 of his hands. Very rare you see a ball bounce off the 2 of his hands, but it did. Breakout player, I thought it was going to be Jordan Whittington. It necessarily wasn't, but we're going to be talking about that. There's an interesting point about Jordan Whittington and this Texas wide receiver room. I did say Texas is going to take control with elite defense, and I think they did. The only thing going for Alabama all night long. All night long, if you know that song. Yeah. Only thing going for them at all was Jalen Milroe's athleticism and ability to escape the Texas defenders, which is about the one thing that I kind of downplayed his athleticism. Not to say that he's not athletic, but I just thought that the Texas defenders were going to look better against his athleticism than the Middle Tennessee defenders. And we did, but not to the level that I thought it was. So, I talked about some statistics. Let's go right on into them, okay? where else to start than one of the most underappreciated groups in football, but for this Texas team. And we're going to start with this offensive line. This offensive line, after I'm not going to say it was bad. It was bad. Bad is probably a fair word to use. But after a not optimal start versus Rice, you want to talk about, like, and to really, like, go and show, like, how much of a difference this is. He had 38 dropbacks versus Rice, and 8 of them were under pressure. Now, that doesn't sound crazy, right? It felt like a lot more during the Rice game, but there wasn't much push for the running game at all. But you go to the Alabama game. Okay, Alabama, they got clearly better defensive tackles, defensive ends, NFL defensive line. 40 dropbacks, only 5 of them were pressures. This was an amazing day from the offensive line. DJ Campbell had a great day. Cole Hudson had a great day. I bet you didn't know Cole Hudson got 43 snaps in there. Bet you didn't know that, but he did. When you're not cornerback and offensive line, when you don't hear their names called, it's typically a good day. And it was the only time that I can actually remember a cornerback getting their name called was Ryan Watts when they were, obviously amazing play. They're going to call that out. And then Gavin Holmes. There was one play where Gavin Holmes got his name pop up, but at the end of the day, that's not me speaking negatively on Gavin Holmes. I'm just saying, hey, these are the positions. And Manny Muhammad, Terrence Brooks, you didn't hear their names at all. Those are good things. That's good. You don't want to hear their names. You don't. You don't want to hear. Well, you do. You want to hear them at the Ryan Watts level, but outside of that play, didn't hear Ryan Watts much. So, Quinn Ewers, moving over to the offense. Quinn Ewers, 63.2% completion percentage. Could have been better. Should have been better. 75% adjusted. I'm going to go back over those numbers. I probably might have the adjusted number a little bit higher. They had 3 drops for him. He had 3 big-time throws. It was a good day for Quinn Ewers. This is one thing that I like the most. It was 2.3 seconds. Time to throw. Average time to throw. 2.3 seconds. That means he's getting the ball out. He's processing things, and he's getting the ball out. He's not getting flustered by the defense. And like a great example of what I'm trying to say is there was a play early on to Jatavian Sanders. It was the play that Jatavian fumbled the football, but he didn't catch the ball. Well, Quinn Ewers, he's scanning through the pocket. Boom, 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 boom. Goes through his reads. Nothing open. Dump it off. It's that simple. It's that simple. You just, if no one's open, throw it to your dump off. Throw it to your check down. And I was really enjoying what I saw from Quinn Ewers in this game. Now, the people on the receiving end of Quinn Ewers, this is, I want to talk about this. Man, and I did misspeak. Okay, I did misspeak. I thought we were close to having 3 100-yard wide receivers. We were close. But so this is where I'm not gonna lie. I did misspeak. I saw we had 3 100-yard wide receivers versus Alabama. We did not. That is embarrassing. And y'all are seeing this live. So whatever, we're gonna leave this in. But Jordan Whittington, I thought he had a better day than not. 5 targets, 3 receptions. Yeah. That one touchdown, you wish he had caught it, but I had him as my breakout player. He wasn't necessarily the breakout player. He wasn't targeted as much as I thought he was going to be, but that's because Xavier Worthy and Jatavian Sanders just kept getting wide open. I mean, hey, I'm not gonna lie. Look, if they're getting open, you keep throwing the ball to those dudes. 100%, absolutely. Jatavian Sanders, only wide receiver I call him a wide receiver. He's a tight end, but he's a wide receiver. Only got to go over 114 yards reception on the day. They were not lying when they said that they wanted to get him longer receptions on more yardage on fewer receptions, so just longer receptions in general. 7 targets on the day, second most targeted behind Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy, there was a drop in the end zone. That's forgivable. I'm gonna forgive him. Hopefully, that's not a repeating issue that we see this year. But like I said, I'm not banking on it being a receiving issue or being a recurring issue. Hey, y'all be nice down there. Sorry, I got 2 dogs starting to kind of fight. Another thing, interceptions. Now, it would have been nice to see Jaylan Ford come down on the 3rd interception and really just Alabama have 0 momentum into the half. None. They should have been, there was a touchdown, and I know a lot of Alabama fans are going to be like, oh, we had the touchdown called back. It should have been picked off too. So if y'all want to go down that route, we can certainly go down that road if you want to. We can take off the 3 points, where y'all shouldn't have even had 3 points on the board. But they got the 3 points. Is what it is. Overall, our guys in coverage, they're pretty good. They were all right. Kobe Prentice was the one guy that was getting open on our wide receivers or on our defensive backs. He had six targets, 5 receptions, 68 yards, but he should be one of the more talented wide receivers that our defensive backs have to face this year. This is a common theme among a lot of position groups. No secret, Alabama's probably the best team that you're going to face with position groups. And as long as we can continue to have consistency, this is a great. I know it probably shouldn't be a building block game, but this is a great building block game. We're not where we. It's like Steve Sarkisian said in his first press conference. Beating Alabama is not the destination. We haven't arrived. We haven't. Is Texas back? Not necessarily. Not yet. We'll be back when we either make the playoff, win a playoff game, or win a national championship game. That's when Texas will be back as a power that we are. And by all means, that this should be a year where I've said it's 12-0. This should be a year where that happens. There's some more work to be done. It's like Jaylan Ford said. Oh, all the rat poison's flowing now. Yeah, a lot of the people that were negative last week are really kind of changing lanes. But Jonathan Brooks, 15 attempts, 55 yards. He had some massive runs. He had a 10-plus yard run that was it was a 14-yard run, and that was probably the biggest run of the game. That really, really helped us. Had one drop. Some people aren't going to call that a drop. I'm calling it a drop. It was a drop. It hit his hands. The defensive back pressured him. He did not hit the ball out of his hands or anything like that. So, it was a drop. Should have been a touchdown. By all accounts, Quinn Ewers probably should have had a 6 touchdown day. One to Jordan Whittington that was dropped. And I'm saying if a ball hits your 2 hands and you don't catch it, it's a drop. Xavier Worthy, drop. Jonathan Brooks, drop. Yeah. Let's see. My figures. That's all they do. All right, and then moving on to the defense. Now, hey, David Benda, the worst graded player on PFF. I need to go back and I need to really watch closer to David Benda and just really zone in on him and see if it was really that bad. But statistically, one of the best players on the team. He had 6 tackles. That's one under the lead, Jalen Catalon. He had some run stops. He did allow some receptions, but overall it was a total of 20 yards. It was one of the lowest. It was the second lowest yardage allowed from a guy that was targeted in coverage. Safety, linebacker, anything. He did have a sack. Did have 2 pressures. This was not a. It wasn't a bad game by David Benda, but I've heard some rumblings, so I do need to go back and look. But he is probably one of the more underrated defensive players for this Texas Longhorn team. Jaylan Ford, that dropped interception. Probably, I felt like this could have been a better game from Jaylan Ford. I really do. But at the end of the day, if a better game from Jalen Ford, yeah, I'll take I'll take what we just had versus Alabama, if that's him playing under his potential. And when you're playing against NFL players, that's probably likely to happen. T'Vondre Sweat, he had a sack, two pressures. Two pressures. Byron Murphy had four pressures. Byron Murphy was getting after the quarterback. This Texas team. There was a ton of stuff that you like to see. Barron Sorrell. I mentioned that I think Barron Sorrell's not going to be the guy that gets double-digit sacks. I think it's going to be Ethan Burke. And I said that Barron Sorrell was not slow but not fast, and that's why I thought that. I'm not taking anything away from Barron Sorrell. If you actually heard me earlier in the year, a big thing of me and my prediction for Barron Sorrell was I thought that the other defensive ends, Ethan Burke, is going to allow Barron Sorrell to come free. Well, it's the exact opposite. Barron Sorrell is getting so much attention that he's allowing Ethan Burke's athleticism to come out and Ethan Burke come free. So, these are all things that you'd love to see. Jett Bush, he had 16 snaps. I know a lot of people are gonna be okay with that. Christopher Ross is looking nice. But you know what, Jett Bush, when he was on the field, he actually was doing all right. It was not bad. And these defensive backs, it's just like I'm trying to go through and separate the snaps. We have so much depth. Anthony Hill, he's a stud. Goodness, these defensive backs, they're able to play free. PK, it's a PK masterclass out there. And the thing that I love to see about the defense the most, so far this year, every single time we've seen a mistake on defense, whether it's from a David Benda or a Jaron Thompson, very soon they rectify it. Like, within the next two plays, it's already fixed, it's done, and you don't got to worry about it. These are very smart football players. These are football guys at the end of the day. And this Bama game, like I said, we haven't arrived. This isn't the destination. This is only a stop on the way to the destination. But ultimately, we'll never get to that destination. We will never get there. We could win 5 national championships in a row and we won't be at the destination, because the destination should always be you should always be chasing that destination. There's always something better on the other side. And I'm not trying to say let's, be the fans that jump sides on the fence, but I'm saying there's always something to be there. You can always be better. So, at the end of the day, love to see some of these things from this Texas Longhorn team. Absolutely great win against the Crimson Tide. And now it's just time to go handle business. It's time to go handle business versus Wyoming. Play a clean game. Go into conference versus Baylor. Play a clean game. Kansas, play a clean game. Oklahoma, do what you need to do. Handle business. Oklahoma should not be hard this year. Again. OU sucks. And then let's go into the bye, and then let's handle everything else after that. But hope you all have a great day. Hope you all enjoyed this video. I know I had a great day on Saturday. Let's have another great Saturday. So, thank you for tuning in, and as always, hook 'em!